You want me to let the world know the truth. You don't want me to shine, you study my rhyme, then
just put the rollie right back on my wrist. This watch came from Drizzy, he gave me a gift.
The complex landscape of hip-hop, where words are weapons, lyrics are battles, and legends are forged, not only in the recording studio but also in the streets. This is a world where a mic in the right hands can cause a revolution. In this world, a beef is sometimes unavoidable. The beef we are discussing today is a fascinating saga of old school versus new school, a face-off between a seasoned veteran, CANIBUS, and the modern prodigy, J.COLE. CANIBUS has been in the game for a long time. He's a survivor, one who's still around after a very embarrassing freestyle battle.
hey, listen to me. I'm not a good freestyler, all right? So work with me. You win this, all right? But I want to still spit my shit. You understand me? You understand me?
Also, he survived a beef with LL Cool J in his prime, proving that his raw talent has always shone through. Enter J.COLE, whose rise to stardom in the late 2000s turned heads in the hip-hop community. With a string of chart-topping albums under his belt, Cole is known for his down-to-earth demeanor and tendency to steer clear of beef. I personally would love to see J.COLE drop a diss track against anybody, but that's just not his style. Intriguingly, it was CANIBUS who played a vital role in shaping young Cole's music, so much so that his influence can be heard in Cole's style, and even in his tribute track, Can I Bus?
Yeah, you cats is fly, but your plane's crashing. You came and passed, my range lasting. I came slashing, same fashion that OJ stabbed him. My brain's packed with more lines than cane addicts.
But life has a way of turning the tables. The very idols we look up to, the ones who mold us, can sometimes become our competitors. So, sit back, buckle up, and grab your popcorn. In the early 2000s, when hip-hop was undergoing a massive transition, a new star was beginning to form. This young fireball of talent, who was about to explode onto the hip-hop scene, was christened The Therapist. However, you might know him by a different moniker today, the chart-topping sensation known as J.COLE. What up guys, Ali here and welcome to Ali Talks Music. Add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music as well. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. Cole's musical journey began when he was about 15 years old. The local group Bomb Shelter took him under their wing, mentoring him and helping him navigate the labyrinth of rhymes and rhythms. By the time J.COLE was 17, he was a seasoned rapper, having spent many years honing his craft and nurturing his lyrical genius. But he lacked one key component of his rap persona, a catchy, memorable name. Inspired by his Bomb Shelter brethren, Nervous Wreck and Filthy Rich, Cole embarked on a quest. His compass, dictionaries. His goal, the perfect hip-hop name. And then one fateful day, the Bomb Shelter duo dropped the bombshell. They had found the perfect name for young Jermaine, The Therapist. Thus, The Therapist was born, setting the stage for the meteoric rise of J.COLE. In J.COLE's own words, we used to look through the dictionary for rap names. I could never find nothing. One day these dudes were like, yo, we got a name for you. It's Therapist.
Bomb Shelter, he named you The Therapist?
Yeah, it was a duo, two rappers. One was a rapper and producer from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them because they were from my city and they made music to me that sounded just as good as Outkast or Redman, Method Man. You know what I mean? It was the first time I heard somebody from the city doing quality type music that was similar to what I listened to. So they had the coolest rap names I ever heard. Nervous Wreck was one of them, and the other one was Filthy Rich. They spelled them all cool, you know what I mean? And I was just like, damn, I need a rap name like that. So, you know, they offered to help me find a rap name, you know what I mean? And one day they called me up and they was like, yo, we got one for you. And I was all excited. I thought my shit was going to be just as fire as theirs. And I was like, what is it? And they was like, it's Therapist.
So, for a few years, Cole adopted the name The Therapist. During his time as The Therapist, J.COLE recorded the track Can I Bus, paying respect to CANIBUS, a significant influence in his early career. If you listen to the track closely, you can tell that J.COLE was truly inspired by CANIBUS, as he sounds almost identical to his idol. On the opposite side of the spectrum, CANIBUS was doing what J.COLE could have only dreamed of at the time, dropping studio albums. From the year 2000 to the year 2009, CANIBUS dropped about 7 albums. As we moved into the 2010s, CANIBUS was no longer the dominant force in the industry that he once was. With many studio albums under his belt, many fans believed his career had already peaked. On the other hand, J.Cole is becoming a force to be reckoned with. In a 2011 interview, J.Cole spoke about his early inspirations in the world of rap, citing CANIBUS as a significant influence on his own style. One of CANIBUS's verses that truly inspired J.Cole came from the song Buckingham Palace.
When I say can I, you say bust. Can I bust? Can I bust?
I'm talking about some of my favorite verses that kind of helped shape who I am today as a writer, as an artist. The first one I'm gonna do, I think, what I'm gonna talk about is a CANIBUS verse, and the reason why I picked it is because it'll give you an idea like what I was into around that age. This is like 98, 99. So it's a verse off a song he had on his first album called Buckingham Palace, and it was super duper lyrical. Like, it was all punchlines, like. And that's what was, at that time, when I first heard CANIBUS and Eminem and these guys that had the punchline, I was like, because I was rapping like Master P kind of. My cousin taught me how to rap, that's how I was rapping. So when I heard these guys, they made me want to like that's harder to do. It was like a challenge.
According to J.Cole, CANIBUS made him aspire to be more lyrical and to actually talk about something meaningful in his lyrics. Cole would then use these lyrics to participate in high school ciphers and witness the crowd's reaction to his verses, sometimes even stopping the entire cipher with a single line. Although J.Cole eventually shifted his focus from battle rap to storytelling and conceptualizing, he never forgot the influence that CANIBUS had over him. Now, even though J.Cole was truly inspired by CANIBUS and was trying to let the world know where his inspiration came from, CANIBUS was not too impressed with this new revelation. The origins of the beef trace back to CANIBUS's feelings, as CANIBUS didn't like the way J.Cole was talking about him in interviews. If you listen to every interview where J.Cole mentions CANIBUS, you can clearly tell that J.Cole is trying to come from a place of admiration. However, what truly made CANIBUS pissed off is that J.Cole never mentioned CANIBUS's newer music. To be fair, J.Cole was probably not listening to CANIBUS's later work. CANIBUS was no longer the big draw that he was in the past, so it makes sense as to why J.Cole did not quote CANIBUS's later work. CANIBUS thought that although J.Cole claimed to be honoring him, he was in fact treating him like a legendary artist who had passed away, like Tupac, Big, or Big L. CANIBUS felt like because J.Cole was talking about him like a deceased artist, not that many people would check for his new music. He began to doubt J.Cole's sincerity, and as a result of his growing frustration, CANIBUS dropped a diss track at J.Cole called J.Clone. CANIBUS's J.Clone track contains the following lyrics: "You said my name so much, they think you're being honest. It's more than that, we could have recorded a track. You could give me a stack for a verse just like that." In other lines, CANIBUS goes, "I don't know what's worse, AIDS or cancer, your stupid ass questions or your stupid ass answers. J.Clone, nice to meet you. The name's Rip the Jacker, let me introduce you to the master."
J.Cole, aka J.Clone, known for tight styling and stereotype flow.
Now, when this track dropped, fans had a lot to say about CANIBUS. While some people view it as a diss, others think CANIBUS was simply trying to gain attention, while others think CANIBUS was simply reaching out for a feature. Nevertheless, the fans weren't too pleased about this diss track and thought CANIBUS should have kept this in the vault. On the same day CANIBUS dropped his diss track at J.Cole, he dropped a lengthy post on Facebook and defended his stance against J.Cole. Now, it's a very long post, but in summary, this is what J.Cole had to say. In the post, CANIBUS let it be known that he always wanted to collaborate with legends in the game. He felt like when newer rappers enter the rap scene, they should show respect to their elders and offer to collaborate with them. CANIBUS emphasized that he was still truly hungry and dedicated to the genre of hip-hop. And according to him, when he dropped the diss track at Cole, he was simply defending the integrity of hip-hop against insincere actions. CANIBUS felt like J. Cole's actions were truly disrespectful, which is why he dropped the diss track. Now, in contrast to many rap beefs that can last for years, like Eminem's beef with MGK and 50 Cent's beef with Ja Rule, the tension between J. Cole and CANIBUS played out differently. Surprisingly, their disagreement was very brief, essentially lasting only a few days before coming to a resolution. In a surprising turn of events, CANIBUS shared an unexpected video, which is about 8 minutes long, in which he backtracked on his earlier statements and offered a sincere apology. Or was it really sincere? I don't know. Throughout the video, CANIBUS seemed somewhat remorseful and apologized for crossing the line. In his own words, "I've seen thousands and thousands of comments of J.COLE and all the negativity it's stirring up. After 48 hours, I feel confident enough to say that it's unanimous. Hip-hop has spoken up loud and clear. It's a cold world right now, and you're the reigning champ. I take full responsibility for my actions, and I apologize for stepping over the line. It comes off as tacky, unsophisticated, and it's just not G. I love hip-hop too much to further justify my selfish behavior."
I made this video in an effort to turn it around and man up for my mistake. You said you were a fan of mine at one time. You bigged me up on many occasions. You don't owe me nothing, Cole. I was out of line for what I did, and I'm sorry for creating a fiasco at a time when hip-hop really needs somebody like you to look up to.
Now things take a very curious turn as the video flashes edited snippets of CANIBUS apologizing to J.COLE, all while reading his statements off a computer screen. This made fans believe that CANIBUS was not being genuine in his apology. Now, in order to understand CANIBUS's frustrations, you simply need to watch his interviews from around 2011 to discover that J.COLE was not the real problem. His true frustration came from feeling unsupported and blackballed by the hip-hop community.
Of course they did.
You know, that's what I'm trying to say. So, and then after that, they turn around and blackball me further. You know what I mean? So, and took money, you know what I mean, to like blackball me, right?
Wow.
So, you know, you're talking about that record was made like at the way I felt at that juncture was like, you know what? Rap ain't it.
Even though CANIBUS was known for being lyrical in the past, people eventually started viewing CANIBUS as being corny, which is crazy to me because CANIBUS says things that most rappers don't even think about. When CANIBUS dropped a diss track at J.COLE, he was simply trying to draw attention to his struggles, and despite his heartfelt apology video, it received little recognition on social media and in the news. Even though CANIBUS chose to bravely, publicly address his issues and take responsibility for his actions, his response was disappointingly muted. Now, even though J.COLE got dissed by his idol, that did not stop him from mentioning CANIBUS in his interviews. Around 2022, CANIBUS did an interview with Nardwuar at Windmark Recording Studio, and during the interview, J.COLE got asked what he thought about CANIBUS and the diss track that CANIBUS dropped towards him. Now, instead of avoiding the question and dissing CANIBUS, J.COLE once again told the story of how CANIBUS influenced him in his younger days. This shows that J.COLE is not someone who holds on to grudges. In his own words, "Yeah, CANIBUS, huge inspiration on my teenage years of rapping, just ferocious, barred up, lyrical, punchlines, any cipher, any gathering of 3 or more people that wanted to rap, destroying it. That was my whole MO. That was my forte, and CANIBUS was a big part of that." In summary, CANIBUS made a very big mistake by dissing J.COLE, who had only shown respect to him by mentioning his name in interviews. If you think about it, J.COLE could have simply said, "I inspired me. Nobody inspired me." And he could have simply left out the fact that CANIBUS inspired him. However, J.COLE is a bigger man than that and knows how to show respect to the legends. CANIBUS, feeling disrespected and blackballed by the industry, was still producing albums, but was often seen by fans as being a blast from the past. By involving J.COLE in his attempt to shed light on his struggles, CANIBUS inadvertently alienated J.COLE's fans and appeared to be looking for nothing more than attention. Eventually, CANIBUS realized the error in his ways and apologized to J.COLE, ending their short-lived feud. However, the damage was done. Will J.COLE ever collaborate with CANIBUS? We can only wait to see what the future holds, and if it does happen, that would be a great moment for hip-hop. That's it for me, it's your boy Ali. What happened between J.COLE and CANIBUS? Let me know down below. Also add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music. Till next time, peace.